Introy was 19 the summer I came home from college. I wasn't planning to stay long, just a few weeks before heading off with friends, but my mom had said she missed me. She rarely said things like she missed method. I thought maybe something had changed. The house felt quieter than I remembered. My dad was gone a lot, always traveling for work, but this time it felt like avoidance. My mom didn't mention him. She just moved through her routines: breakfast, made laundry, folded, counterswiped, spotless, smiling like everything was fine, but it wasn't. She looked some elegant, composed, but something in her posture had sharpened, like she was holding herself together for dear life. Her phone lit up often. Once I saw a name and a heart. She locked the screen before I could read it. I told myself it was nothing, but something felt off. One night she made salmon mi favorite, though I hadn't mentioned it halfway through dinner. She looked at me and said, "You've grown up. You're seeing the world for what it is now, aren't you, naughty duncher?" She stared like she was deciding her secret life. Something. Then sometimes you live your whole life pretending, and then one day you stop and it changes everything. That night, we sat in the porch, quiet, heavy silence, full of things neither of us knew how to say before going to bed. She said, "Tomorrow if I ask you to see something, would you trust me enough not to walk away?" I said yes. I didn't understand what I was agreeing to. The next morning she told me to dress nicely, no explanation. Just wear something that makes you feel confident. We drove insolence. She played music I didn't recognize, soft, nostalgic. We arrived at Asmel restaurant. I'd never been to. She ordered wine. I stuck with water. Shell looked lighter, not happy exactly, but freer. She asked about my classes. I told her I might change majors. She smiled and said she always thought I'd do something creative. "You remind me of someone I used to be," she said. It landed wrong. Then she started talking about the past, how she met my dad young, how she thought stability was love. "Sometimes love feels like obligation," she said, "and you forget what wanting feels like." She pulled a photo from her purse, herself, barefoot on a beach lying. "I used to dance. I used to laugh without thinking who was watching." I didn't know what to say. Shell looked me dead in the eye. "Do you know how many women disappear without any, not because they die, because ethy becomes someone smaller than," she said. "I want you to come with me tomorrow. It's not a favorites, a truth, one you need to witness." I asked what it was. She said, "If I told you, you wouldn't come." I said okay. Not because I trusted her, because a thing in her voice told me I didn't have a choice. She picked me up early, no destination, just quiet intensity. We pulled into a gated complex, entered the code like it was routine. Side, a furnished apartment, clean polished but hollow. Wait in the living room, she said. Then she disappeared down the hallway. At first I sat, then I heard voices, a man's voice, her laugh, soft, easy. Stood, walked toward the sound. Without thinking I passed the bathroom, a spare room, then the last door. It was cracked open, just enough clothes rustling. Breather, voice warmer than I'd ever heard. Ethan, his familiar, comfortable. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. She wasn't being coerced, she wasn't hesitating, she was using it completely. I left, didn't say a word, sat in the car numb. I hadn't even seen it, not fully, but that made it worse. It wasn't an accident, it was deliberate. She brought me there to know. When she came out, she wasn't ashamedges.com, like this had always been inevitable. She didn't apologize, just said, "Now yeah." We didn't speak on the drive home that night. She made dinner like nothing had happened. I didn't eat, just lay on my bed, staring at the ceiling. She slid a note under my door. "You needed to see the truth. It's not what you think." I stared at that line for hours. What I think. Did she believe she was saving me, showing me some version of freedom? My dad came home the next day, kissed her cheek, asked about my summer plans. I sat at the table watching them lick stringers. She caught my eye once, no gift, just challenge, like she was testing me. I looked away. I started going out more, staying gone. I told my friends I was just catching up on life. It couldn't even look at her. She carried on like nothing had shifted, but for me everything had. I haven't told my dad. I don't know if Ever will. Maybe he already knows. Maybe pretending is easier than facing what your life has become. I don't hate her. I wish I did. It would be simpler, but all I feel is anything colder like pity, and pity that curdles into disgust. Every time I heard her laugh in my head, made me carry it, and I don't think you'll ever forgive her for that.